Welcome back, everyone, to our Making It Fun Career Mode series in NASCAR Heat 3. So we're coming off of a good run at Atlanta. Based on the strength of our car right now, a very good run. And now it's time to simulate some more races. And we have $905,000 in the bank right now. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into facility first. And we're going to purchase another chassis. This time we are going to purchase a short track chassis. There we go. And then we're going to come in under Improve Equipment and just see what we're dealing with here. All right, we got $150,000 to get us up to 80. And then if we want to go from 90 to 95, it's going to cost a whole lot of money. Yeah, 1.2 million. That is quite a bit of money. And going to take us quite a while to get there. So I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and purchase this aero improvement up to 80. Okay, now we need a couple more employees. We only actually need one right now. We got two engine folks right now at 10 apiece. Then we got one suspension person, so we need to hire another person for the suspension. We'll get Andrew here. We've hired him for our other teams as well. So we'll go ahead and train him. And let's see, can we get him up to 10? Ooh, not quite. Okay, so we'll take that. That's $37,000. And then that's really all we need right now. Let's go ahead and hire Maggie because we'll be able to use her eventually. But for right now, we are looking very good. Let's go ahead and keep things pretty standard and come back out and go next race and then do the prepare race from there. That way I am where I'm used to be. Okay, so we have Speedway coming up, then a short track, and then back to two speedways. Okay, so we've got our first speedway chassis. We'll go ahead and max it out as best we can anyway. Okay, that'll take care of that one. Then we'll go to our short track chassis and work on it as well. Let's see, we really don't have anybody to put on that one just yet. So we'll put Andrew here. And okay, that'll be pretty good. I do want to look at one more thing before we actually get started, and that is under employees. So we got our two suspension and what is about to be two aero folks. Okay, so we got enough for 4 here. All right, we'll take that. We'll actually add this in so that we can begin working on that. So short track, we'll go to aero, and we'll put Maggie on there. So now we've got 2 of each. And that's really what we need for the most part going forward. You can do this several different ways, but that is the easiest way, is to have 3 chassis and 6 employees, 2 focused on each thing. So now we're headed to Speedway. We've got 90, 80, and 80. So a little bit short on the suspension there, but not too terribly bad. We're going to go ahead and simulate this race. Nice purse there. But again, before we can do any more improvements to our car, it's going to take a lot of money. 1.2 million is huge. And wow, you can see our finish 35th. Not good at all. But we'll bring home a little over 73,000 and 1,400 more fans. Okay, let's move on to week 4. And once again, only the Xfinity series is running right now. Okay, we need to get prepared for Phoenix or ISM. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Once again, we'll be simming this race. We'll get into running more races as we get closer to the middle and end of the year, but still, overall, we won't be doing that many. Okay, there we go. Now we need to go to a speedway chassis, doesn't matter which one, and we'll get started working on it. All right, let's actually back out just for a second because I want to do just a little bit of training. I want to see if we can get Andrew up to 10. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to try. Okay, there we go. So we can get that one up to 10. So we don't need that right now, but that'll give me something to work with as we move forward. So it'll be a little while before we need to do any more training on employees. Okay, now we can go back into our work plan, and everything is set and ready to go. There we go. Short track is 90, 79, and 89. So we're in good shape there. Let's go ahead and sim this race. And we've got our short track chassis prepared, 26th place. Okay, so we still got some work to do on these finishes. We'd like to get up to as high as we can, of course, but somewhere around 20th or 21st seems to be about the best I've ever seen simming one of these races like this. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. Our money, $59,328 and 1,700 more fans. So we are just over 30,000 fans, and we picked up a little bit of money. So let's go ahead and reply to some of these guys. Austin Cindric is a big fan, as is Christopher Bell. So you can see we've got a lot of friends right now. And thankfully, all of these were good messages that we had. It's not very often we get that. So now we'll move on to week number 5. And once again, only the Xfinity series is running at this point in the season. And we'll go, let's see, we got Auto Club, Texas, Bristol. Okay. I think we can get a couple of good runs here because I'm going to be running Auto Club. I really enjoy that place, and we're going to be running that race. Let's see. Let's go. I don't think 4 top 15s is doable without running all of them, which we will not be. All right, so let's go ahead and adjust our work plan, and let's work on our Speedway chassis. And we are going to get it, we can't do anything else with the aero. So we'll come into suspension, and then we'll go to, because we're going to Texas next, and I really want to run that race, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see, aero 10, and then Andrew will be on the suspension. Perfect. And let's see. Do I have anybody left? Yes, we have one person left, but Millie really don't have a lot of work for her to do since we have 10 on one of our other employees. All right, there we go. Bay number 1, our Speedway chassis, 90, 80, and 90. I am very happy about that. So it's time to head to Auto Club. All right, it is race time here at Auto Club in California. So we are starting basically mid-pack, a little bit past halfway through the field. So not a great starting spot, but I think we're going to be okay in the race. We'll see if we can't get at least a top 15 here. And, of course, we're hoping for more than that. So you can see starting 24th on the grid. All right, very congested here at the front. Front of our area anyway. Okay, let's get up here, see if we can get this engine wound up. This is where having an engine that is underpowered will really hurt you because you have to be so aggressive on the throttle at this place. In fact, you can run it wide open in the Xfinity car if you're handling okay. All right, I like that corner. That was a very good corner for us. All right, we're going to try this bottom a little bit. And I'll tell you what, not yet. There's too many cars that are going to be down there. So I'm just going to go ahead and stay around the top for a moment and try to let this clear out a little bit. A lot more room for me to maneuver around on the outside right now as opposed to getting on that bottom. As you can see, it is very crowded down there. And I feel like we would probably just get blocked in. Oh, he's not giving us any room. Okay. So I had to back out of it there because he was giving us exactly no room to make it down the straightaway. The downside of running up high like that, sometimes the AI just decide that you don't deserve to be on the same track with them. Luckily, the damage model in this game is pretty basic and doesn't really penalize you for damage, so you don't have to worry a whole lot about that. Alright, you can see we're making up a lot of ground here. We've got some speed. We'll just have to see how it translates over the full race. Here in stage 1, it's only 8 laps. So fairly short, and I think we've got a real good shot at getting some stage points here, because we are making up some ground in a hurry on a lot of these guys. Car's handling beautifully. If you're wondering, I'm using the same setup I posted here on the channel with a couple of modifications because we are down on grip and down on horsepower, so I had to adjust the gearing a little bit to try to get a few more RPMs, and then I tightened the car up just a touch since we're down on grip a little bit. So those are the only two things I did, very minor changes to try to help the car be as stable as possible. You can see these guys are eating our lunch down the straightaways. Alright, so we're going to try to draft them as much as we can. And it looks like we've reached... Yeah, let's take it right through the middle here. We've reached the part of the grid in the running order where we're not going to be able to go on the high side, the extreme high side, and make up any room. We're just not fast enough up there. This is where our reduced horsepower is really hurting us. Oh, look out. Wow. I almost had to just brake getting up behind Kaz Gralla. Did not know we had a car on the outside.
Got one outside now.
Oh, now he tells me we got one outside. Okay. Very helpful. And you can see we're just getting crushed on the straightaway. And that, it's aggravating, but it's what you expect. And it's part of what makes this interesting. We're going to try to help that out a little bit more as the year goes along, but it's going to take quite a bit of money. So we'll do what we can. But getting to solid 100s across the board is probably not going to be possible. Just not enough time and money to go around here in this one season. All right, so we've dropped back a little bit. Let's try to work our way back forward. Trying to run as low on the track as I can. Ouch! Good gracious. Really? Really? Yeah, that's exactly what needed to happen there. He just run us out of the way. Me and the AI in this game. So now we're back to 17th. We had made our way up to, what, about 13th, 14th, somewhere in there. And we keep having these issues with the AI. I'm not sure that we can get rid of that, other than just not racing them hard, and that is not going to happen.
Still there.
What it does do is it makes me much more happy to give them very little, if any, room whenever we get to them.
Nice driving.
And if they cut us off, I will not hesitate to stay in the gas. So that's what it does for them. And we'll get some nasty Twitter messages, but it doesn't bother me. All right, laps remaining, 30 laps. Estimated fuel, 42, so we don't need to pit. The beauty of running a little bit shorter races. We'll go ahead and advance on up. So we're in 16th position.
All right, you're coming to the green. Be ready.
Up through the gears pretty good. Staying right with these guys.
Got one down low now. Got one down low this side.
Wow, these guys are actually pretty slow getting up to speed.
Hold your line. Got one inside. Hold your line. Clear all around.
Just trying to give everybody plenty of room. Not sure that's even possible with these guys.
Still there.
All right, once again, we're going to try to make up everything we can.
Still there.
So we're going to keep on this high side
Inside.
as much as we can. Let's try to get down to this bottom. You can see we're not able to make up quite as much time on the high side once we get inside this top 20. Oh, good gracious, guys. But that's one of the things I will not hesitate to do from this point forward. If they're going to run me into the wall, they're going to accept the consequences. And I say they because all of the AI are basically using the same coding, so I lump them all in together.
Got one down low now. Got one down low. Inside. Bottom lane clear. Use it if you need it. Careful. Still there.
A little loose right there underneath Kaz Gralla, but otherwise, no big deal. So we're going to try to make up some spots here. Just outside the top 15. I still would like very much to know how they make that sudden surge on the entry to the corner. I've not lifted, so how they're gaining like 5 miles an hour on me all of a sudden, I have zero idea. I mean, it's one thing if they were simply lifting later than me, but I haven't even lifted yet by the time they're doing. And particularly in turns 1 and 2, I don't even have to lift at all. Particularly with this reduced horsepower we've got. All right, so we're coming up toward the end of stage number 2. So like right here going through 1 and 2, I'm not lifting at all. So we definitely need to get some more horsepower. Of course, aero would help as well by reducing the drag, but there is no substitute for horsepower. Alright, so we're right here with these guys. So we're not that far off from a top 10 car. I feel like if we had the engine right now, even with everything else still well below 100, I feel like we would be able to compete with these guys. Right, we're going to try to get to the bottom here. Nope, that's not going to work.
Stay low, stay low.
Oh, look out. Okay, Nemechek. Be careful with that.
Stay on the bottom here for me. All right, careful now. Still there. White flag. Come on, dig, driver.
All right, let's see. Do we have an opening to try to make up any spots?
Stay on the bottom right here.
Yeah, that handicap with the motor is just a little bit too much.
Careful, still there.
I was going to try to fit it right through the middle of them, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Nice driving.
All right, so 17th in that stage. So once again, no playoff points. We got some work to do to get our cars strong enough for that. So now we will not be pitting once again. So, of course, no reason for really anybody to pit unless you've got some damage you need to fix.
All right, coming to the green. Be ready. Outside, outside.
All right, we're going to go ahead and make up some spots. We'll see y'all later, folks.
Careful now, still there. Careful, still there. Outside, outside.
All right, so here's where they're going to start to make up a lot of space on me. So we did good. Really? Guys running into the back of me on the straightaway.
Car there is on the outside. Outside. All right, now you're clear.
You can see I'm eating their lunch through the corner, but they're eating mine on the straightaway.
Car up top.
Just trying to stay in the draft as much as I can.
Stay low, stay low. Careful, still there.
Trying to leave room for that sudden burst of speed that the two car had going into that corner.
Car there is on the outside. Outside. Still there. Clear all around.
Just playing around with Matt Tift a little bit here. All right, I am going to back out of it early here because I do not want to be right on their tail as we enter that corner. That would not be good. Unfortunately, we're going to pay for it.
All right, careful now, still there.
Alright, so again, we just try to make up all we can in the corners and hope that that's enough
All right, careful
to
now,
help us
still
out
there.
enough on the straightaway.
Still there.
Yeah, we're just powerless on the straightaway. Just nothing I can do. So now we're going to fall back through the field a little bit.
Got one down low now. Got
And this
one
is all
down
horsepower.
low inside. You stay up high here. Stay up high. Still there. Caution's out. Wave them off behind
Caution flag is out. We will certainly not be pitting. So we'll restart 14th. And once again, I'm just going to give the developers credit and say that they are warming up their tires before we get control of the car. All right, we are no holds barred here. I'm coming through. These guys can like it or not. I really don't care at this point.
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here. Inside. Inside, inside. Got one down low now. Got one down low. Inside. Inside, inside, inside. Hold your line. Stay up high. Stay high. Still there.
All right, so we're holding our own as best as I feel like we could. I mean, we're running just inside the top 15, which is a bit of a stretch for us right now. Woo! I thought the zero car was coming right into our door right there.
Hold your line. Got one inside. Hold your line. That car there is on your inside. It's inside.
All right, so now you can see us falling back through the field as we come to 10 laps remaining, and we're basically powerless at this point. I am off the gas very little. I'm all but wide open around the entire track. So this is basically all we got.
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here. Keep digging. We have 10 to go.
Wow, even in the draft, they are crushing me on the straightaway. So demoralizing. But boy, if we ever take care of that, then I am going to have a field day on these guys. If we ever get that engine stronger. Nope. We're not doing that, Hemrick. I am going to wear that bumper out.
Careful. Still there. Inside.
I mean, we're getting outrun by the 15 car on the straightaway, if that tells you anything.
Careful now. Still there.
All right, you can see we're clearly faster than the zero by a good bit through the corner, and now let's watch how far he yards us on the straightaway.
Still there.
There he goes. And that's the zero car. All right, what do we have? About 8 to go. Let's see if we can get back to that top 15. We need some guys up there to start fighting it out and give us a chance to get up there to them.
Still there.
All right, so a great run off the corner versus the zero car. Does us no good on the straightaway. And it looks like we got some guys coming up behind us that would like to join this battle. Alright, come on, Smithley, let's go. Give you a little push. Since I can't get past you on the straightaway, I might as well just try to give you a little push and try to keep us both from getting passed by the folks that are coming up behind us. Oh, and here comes Kaz Gralla right behind us, and once again, there's that big burst of energy.
Clear all around. Got one down low now. Got one down low inside. Hold your line. You got one inside. Hold your line. All right, careful now. Still there. All right, now you're clear. Still there.
Alright, so my spotter went from you're all clear to still there, with nothing in between.
Hold your line. You got one inside.
Come on, developers.
Hold your line.
You know better than that. Alright, so now we are certainly falling back through the fields because it's time for the AI to get their miraculous speed here toward the end of the race. Because nothing has changed for us, that's for sure. Our car is still handling just fine. We're losing some speed, of course, because we're running higher on the track through the corners, but other than that, I mean, there's really no issues that we've got to worry about. Oh, look out. That's what I get for not paying attention. So look at the gap behind us. That's amazing. I mean, there is nobody almost on the same straightaway as us from behind. Wow. All right, so 2 more laps. So we will try to cruise it on home and take that 21st place finish, which is, if we had simulated, that would have been a pretty good result. It'd be a result I'd be very happy with, that's for sure. So the good news is, here on the final lap, no pressure from behind. The bad news is we don't have anybody we can pass either.
Called a caution.
Oh, caution on the last lap, huh? All right, let's see how this works out. All right, so we got overtime. All right, so even on the last lap,
Pace car is off. Be ready.
we get the overtime. Okay, for some reason, we're going to start on the outside lane, looks like. All right, so now is our chance to try to get better than that 21st position. So we're going to pass them before we get to the start-finish line, because that's not a thing in this game. All right, so let's tuck into the draft and see if we can hold on to as much of this as possible. Kaz Grala coming right down in front of me there. I should have just went ahead and wrecked him and been done with it. Ouch. Let's try to figure out where Sadler's going.
Careful now, still there. Inside.
Everybody just come on by. No problem. Come on by. 78? Yeah, come on by.
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here. Inside. All clear.
All right, looks like we might end up one spot better than what we would have been if the game would have just ended the race on that last caution. So we'll come home 20th. All right, we'll take that. Once again, if we had simulated the race and got a 20th place result, I would have been very happy about that. Let's see what kind of money we get. $67,534, another $13,000 from CarQuest, and then $1,516 from our merch payout. So $141,000, almost $142,000 now in the bank for us. We're sitting 23rd in the point standings. All right, that's actually pretty good. Okay, we won't worry about the fastest lap because we were going to be nowhere near that. Yeah, if we had seen that as a race summary with a simulation, that would be an awesome result. All right, so Elliott Sadler, he just took me out. No, I most certainly did not. You passed me. But sure, we'll go with whatever you want to say. No problem. All right, in week number 6, finally, we get back around to the Truck Series. So they got to run their race at Las Vegas. So when we come back next time, we'll be doing some more simulation of races in preparation to try to improve our car that much more as we move forward in the season. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our gameplay series in NASCAR Heat 3.